The Lord be with you. This Sunday, the propers are for the festival of the Holy Trinity. Now, if you had to guess what the Holy Trinity is all about this Sunday, you'd be right. This Sunday is all about reminding us of the mystery of our triune God. So in all of our readings and the hymns and all the parts, the propers that change, we're going to be focusing on this mystery that no one can unravel. It starts with the opening hymn, Holy, 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 God in three persons, blessed Trinity. We'll hear it in the introit, the antiphon, the ancient liturgical text, Blessed be the Holy Trinity and the undivided unity. Let us give glory to him because he has shown mercy to us. As we think about the Holy Trinity, there is a unity among three persons, and how that exactly works is somewhat unclear to us. And yet, as we read in our readings, we see the Trinity at work together. They each have their own responsibilities. We tend to focus on God the Father as the Creator, the Son as the Redeemer, and the Holy Spirit as the one who sanctifies, who makes us holy. And yet, even among their own unique opportunities, they still are all working together for our benefit. So the Old Testament reading is Genesis chapter 1 and the first couple verses of chapter 2, the creation of all things. And in creation, we see the Trinity at work together. In Genesis 1, we hear God created the heavens and the earth, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. John in John chapter 1 fills in for us that in the beginning was the Word, Jesus Christ, and the Word was with God. By him all things were created. So we have the Trinity all at work together in creation. To the point in verse 26, we hear God say, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. That's a plural. Let us make man. So the Trinity has a conversation among themselves, acknowledging what they intend to do in creating humanity. So the Trinity is at work in creating all things. In our epistle reading, the second reading from Acts chapter 2, the apostles remind us how the Trinity continues to work even up to that point, that the Trinity is at work in their message being proclaimed on the day of Pentecost. And so the second half of this Pentecost sermon reminds us that Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested to you by God, with mighty works and wonders and signs God did in your midst, showing the unity of Father and Son, which Jesus proclaims throughout the Gospel of John. I and the Father are one. Later on, John will point out, having received from the Father the promise of the Holy Spirit, he has poured this out that you yourselves are seeing and hearing. The Son, having ascended into heaven after his victory, Father and Son send the Holy Spirit to proclaim that faithful word, to acknowledge to us the victory of Jesus, what Jesus has accomplished for us. So that's part of the reason why in the Nicene Creed, when we talk about the Holy Spirit, we proclaim that he proceeds from the Father and the Son. That's what Peter and the apostles are proclaiming here at Pentecost. And that's the good news for us, that the Trinity is working together to bring us into this one holy Christian faith. Then in the Gospel reading, we hear words that are of great importance for us each Sunday. As we remember our baptism, we make our beginning in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. We remind ourselves of the words of Jesus spoken at the end of Matthew 28. Jesus says, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to observe everything that I have commanded you. So even up to our day, the Trinity continues their work of proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ, proclaiming his victory over sin and death. God the Father has sent the Son in the power of the Holy Spirit, and the power of the Holy Spirit continues to draw us back to Jesus and his victory for us. And then with that in mind, this is the one Sunday a year generally that we use the Athanasian Creed. It's incredibly long, but it has one singular purpose, to remind us of this incomprehensible nature of the Trinity. The Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God, and that's not three gods, that's one God. The Father eternal, the Son eternal, the Holy Spirit eternal. That's one eternal. And so this beautiful creed was written to deal with the questions of whether or not Jesus was truly God. So we confess this as a reminder that all three persons of the Trinity are one God together. How is it that 1 + 1 + 1 = 1? That's the mystery. And that's the point where our human reason fails and we acknowledge the perfect nature of God and his perfect wisdom. And so as we have the chance to gather together, in our hymns we continue to hear about the mysterious nature of the Trinity and the works that they have accomplished for us. And so throughout this Sunday, there are many things that we hear and we read that we simply do not comprehend. And one of the things that I included this Sunday is just a statement from Martin Luther, as I always tend to do, either a statement from Luther or another one of the early church fathers. And Luther's I just thought was incredibly well said. Luther says, how this inner Trinitarian relation is carried on is something we must believe. For even to the angels who unceasingly behold it with delight, it is unfathomable. And all who have wanted to comprehend it have broken their neck in the effort. You and I are not going to be able to nail down everything with the Trinity. That's what faith is all about. We simply acknowledge what God has spoken to us as true, whether or not we are able to proclaim it. So this Sunday reminds us of the power of God, which far exceeds our human understanding, that power which he puts to work for us to rescue us from sin and death. The Lord be with you.